Okay.
Hello, bonjour. Welcome to the Café des Artistes. We just saw your performance. That was very touching. Thanks for being here. And would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Nevaeh Segalowitz. I'm originally from Fort Smith, Northwest Territories, and I grew up here not here, but I'm in Montreal.
Yeah.
And I'm a mom of three. This is my daughter Nevaeh, who you heard throat sing with me.
My name is Taqralik Partridge. I'm originally from Nevaeh Segalowitz, which is my hometown, and I currently live and work in Ottawa on unceded Algonquin Anishinaabe territory.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Tell me, why did you accept to do this today? Like, what's your motivation?
Nathalie Coutou is my motivation.
Oh, they all say that.
Honestly, like I've known Nathalie since I was 19 years old, which was only 10 years ago. I'm just kidding.
We still had our teens.
Yeah, we were still in our teens.
Aww.
And no, she's a sister of mine, and we've been through a lot together. Even though we haven't lived in the city, we very much support each other. You know, I think that any chance, that as an artist I can have my voice heard, and for Nathalie to give us the space to have our voice heard, it's really important. And I think any chance to share who we are and to state that we're here and that we ain't going nowhere, So like that's why.
And why did you decide to participate today?
She told me earlier that like we started practicing just recently, and so
To be with your mom.
right.
You're very cute. Congrats. And why did you decide to participate today?
Nina called me when I was on the road, and we haven't done a gig together for a long time. Well, we hadn't hardly seen each other over the pandemic, even though we're just in Ottawa and Montreal.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay, whatever it is.
So the theme together is really, really good for you.
Very much. And I, like Taqralik and I, we met in university. When we were studying at Concordia, and we learned how to throat sing together, and we did a lot of things together. Like we've gone through our weddings and our kids and our, now my grandkids, and it's just
A lot of chocolate.
a lot of shopping, a lot of Taqralik, Nevaeh is like this, or my daughter's like this, or oh my God, Nevaeh was able to do this, and Sierra managed to do that. So it's it's sisterhood. Togetherness, sisterhood, whatever.
That's nice.
Nina, it's so good to have you here with us, and I'm very thankful you journeyed together and gathered the troops, and this is so precious. I have a question for you for those who are watching and don't know why you have the tattoos on your face. Could you please talk about this?
So just to explain, I won't explain what my tattoos are.
Yep.
Because it's something that's very personal.
Okay.
We don't talk about what they mean.
Okay.
It's something that we do for ourselves. I mean, obviously, I get asked because it's seen in my face and my hands, but the explanation itself is something that I like to keep for myself.
Yep.
But for me, the reason why I did it, I think right now there's an openness with the Canadian population. Since last May, when our children were found next to the residential school, and we knew that they were there. We've known for years since that they were there, that our children were murdered in those residential schools. What it did was it not only blew up the truth, but it also made it possible for Canadians to ask questions and to really be as passionate about our history, the real true history, And now I feel safe walking around with my tattoos. And as before, 5 years ago, I would have never done it. I would have I didn't feel safe, and because of racism and because of judgment, because of prejudice. And I think a lot of Inuit are doing their tunit. And what's the word there's tunit? Kakinit. Kakinit is your hands, or the other way around. So there's tunit and there's kakinit, which is like either your hands or your body. And a lot of the women are redoing it because now it's revitalization of who we are, and we're feeling. Well, personally, I feel safe, and I'm at an age too that I'm, I'm close to 30. I'm close to 50. I'm close to 50, and for me, it's just like je m'assume, like I'm taking my space, and I'm like, if you're gonna not give me a job, or if you're not gonna hire me, or if you're gonna judge me for the way that I look, and this was taken away too. So revendication, a way to like throat singing and hand drum and just our ribbon skirts and stuff like that, and our art, like when Nathalie creates, when Taqralik creates, when other artists create in contemporary or traditional ways, it's just taking our space, So this, I forget about it until someone asks me now, because I'm just like, I don't see it obviously, but it's a way for us to.
And another question is like, when is the right time to do it?
Well, traditionally, like our tattoos get really told others what we do and who we are and where we come from. So, for example, in one of the communities, one line is when a girl becomes a woman. So when she gets her first period, her first moon time, she would get her one line. And then, like, depending on if you were a healer, then you would get other markations. And depending on which community you were from east to west, in the north, you could tell which family you were from and all, what you do for a living, and if you're a grandmother, if you're.
This is so cool.
Wow. I don't know much. Like, I'm doing my research, and this is actually, when I did my research and I chose my tattoo and I drew it, it's really from the Nevaeh Segalowitz region. So I made sure that I was really honoring my region,
Thank you. I also have a question for Taqralik. You read us a beautiful poem, and I was so traveling with it. And I wondered, I think you make us all wondered, wow, how did you get that inspiration?
I owe a lot of credit to the Black spoken word community in Toronto. They kind of inspired me. I had gone to see a show of Black spoken word poets in the mid-2000s in Toronto, and I was like, I didn't know that this was something that people did. Like, it's not singing, it's not quite rap. I mean, although rap can have some spoken word in it, or rap is a kind of spoken
Like
word.
slam.
Kind of slam, yeah, but I don't do it for competition. I just really try to use my own voice, and at the time, I've always been a writer, and I just thought it was a good kind of creative outlet. I like to try different things.
That's awesome.
Well, it was beautiful to see you thread the words, the presence of your daughter, and your singing, Inuit throat singing. I think we traveled your territory with you today. I can really feel it. And you, how do you feel now? Are you happy you came with Mom? Yeah. Well, I hope I could see more of you.
I'm a bit, I don't know what to say, and it's rare because I always have something to say.
Well, I want to say that it's normal because often we were so remote to not talk. And I find that I've been working in museums as a surveyor for years. And what people are used to do mainstream is to pay an entrance fee at the museum and go witness the art and the story, but they don't have a relationship with people. So today, to be in front of people who are alive and who are not in a display window, it's quite a big undertaking. And this is why I participate in this event with you all, because we are giving you a voice, because you have, like you said, been so resilient, and your parents before you have been resilient, and your grandparents. And so for me, I also have my ancestors with me and my family, my relatives. And I'm so happy I got my daughter here today too. So it's a mother-daughter and father-son day. So I think the work that you do is crucial and it's amazing. And I also want to ask, like, how do the people who are watching us right now, how do they get in touch with more of your culture? What would you say to them?
That's a really interesting question, and I think we can have a whole session about culture and learning and teaching, and one of the things that comes straight to mind is people want to learn how to throat sing. And my answer is always no. Our elders have instructed us, and it's a way for us to, it was outlawed and we were put in prison and we were given fines for throat singing. So now because it's a la mode, and now that because it's, now non-Inuit want to learn. And there's an anger behind my words because we have yet to have all our women learn how to throat sing. So can you just give us a minute and breathe and let us heal before coming and trying to learn things that we ourselves were not allowed to learn and we were not allowed to teach. So can you just stop? If you want to learn something, if we want you to share, if we want to share it, it's already on Google. Can you just Google it before you come in? We've lost so much. Our language, our territory, our traditions, our medicines, our in Inuit, traditionally Inuit, we do our shamanism and our traditional medicine, and we healed ourselves. We no longer have any shamans because of the church, and because it was outlawed. And so, for me, when I talk about culture, and I think that's one of the main reasons too, for me when I do throat singing, it's a way for me to do a gentle introduction of who we are, and I welcome that conversation, and then I'm able to teach gently without anger because I've done my healing. And it's just a way to say, look, you are, because as for non-Inuit, for non-native people, a lot of it is I want to learn it because they want to honor our ways. But our way is not that way. I don't go around and learn Anishinaabe ceremony because I'm not Anishinaabe. I can be in ceremony with them as they sing their song, but I will never ask to learn unless an elder has said, this is your path and you need to learn it. So for me, when in terms of our culture and whether it's and it's, there's so many things about who we are, and saying that Inuit, art is one thing, and one thing only is also very restrictive. And I think Taqralik, if she wanted to say something about that, for me, that's my knee-jerk reaction is just give us a minute. If you want to learn who we are, if you want to learn who I am, you can FaceTime me or Facebook me or whatever, email me. But if you want to learn about Inuit, go to our cultural institutes, go to our, Google it, and do it with respect and with intention of saying, I want to learn for myself, but I also want to respect that your community is healing. So that was a little bit of a tangent there.
Oh,
It's important, huh?
I don't know if you want to speak for
Well, you were asking about where can people experience more of Inuit culture. There's an explosion of Inuit artists that has happened, Inuit art that has happened in the last decade, especially the last 5 years, I would say. It's just everywhere. I mean, I know Inuit art for Canada is famous historically, and there's a certain kind of category of Inuit art that people would conventionally expect to see, but I think it's really expanded beyond that, and especially young artists are taking it in different directions. You can find them on Instagram, you can find them on TikTok. Inuit Art Quarterly, where I used to work, is a great place to read about contemporary artists. Lots of people carrying forward traditional practices like sculpture and soapstone, but also moving into multimedia, moving into AR, VR. I think for me, it's a really exciting time for Inuit artists to work with lots of different artists. I work as a curator, so just do a little plug. There's one of my exhibitions is up at Saw Gallery in Ottawa right now, and there is an Inuit artist in this exhibition. Two Inuit artists, sorry. One Norwegian Sami artist and two Inuit artists. One from Alaska and one from Tuktoyaktuk, right from Nina's region. So that's up still through March. Come and see it. It's free.
So you would say that a lot of people are interested to know you. So you're giving us a really nice way to enter to know you, to educate ourselves. That's what I'm hearing in your sharing today. Like, educate yourself about Inuit people. So that being said, what about the people who think Inuit are Indigenous, First Nation? Like, how do you react to that? Like, to explain in your own words that Inuit people are not the like there's a sort of a confusion with the terms.
I mean, I think we're kind of past that. I think people just need to educate themselves. We're, it's all this stuff about reconciliation has been in the news for many years now. So educate yourselves. In Quebec, they say we have 11 First Nations and Inuit. Like, learn about it. It's not that hard to find information online.
And I think that that's too is that we're now shifting from like you don't ask, like we're healing and we're moving forward and we're educated and we have lawyers and doctors and we're just being right now. Like I live on the South Shore of Montreal, and if it's no longer we're no longer like here to teach, by just being, this is who we are, and I think that I do a lot of cultural sensitivity training, but I also ask people to prepare before I do a talk, just like as anybody else. If you're going to learn about Quebec history, you Google Quebec history. Yeah. There's absolutely no excuse anymore not to know whose territory you're on. That's another thing too. Like I ask, when people call, when I go to places and people come and ask, and I said, whose territory do you live on? Some people know, but I'm like, which treaty do you live on? No. And so I think there's a base of information that, that Canadians are taking upon themselves to learn about who we are. There's, like Taqralik says, there's no excuse. Like, we're not here to teach you anymore. Like, just, we're taking our space. Yeah. That's it. And I think that when Nathalie, that's another reason is like, when Nathalie asked me, it was just like, yeah, because we have things to share and our words are valuable. And I think that through media, through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, like there's one TikToker, her name is China Tova, right? Who we met, and Nevaeh was extremely excited. And she's a woman, an Inuit woman who throat singing and has had I don't know how many followers. How many is she have? She would know. 2.7 million followers, and she does like throat singing, and she talks about Inuit, and that's where we're at. Like catch up, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Catch up. Like we're already there.
Well, we hear that, and I know, and I would agree with you, but I also think that some people are not there yet, and this is why today is very important. So I could also say, how about you also read about the Truth and Reconciliation recommendations, and that will keep you busy for a little while to learn about. And it also helps for the new people who choose to come to live into Canada and they don't have firsthand onto, okay, how do I educate myself if I don't know where to go? So I'm liking to say too, there's Indigenous sources in terms of where they could find their information, and also there's a shift with Métis definition. Like myself, I'm mixed ancestry, and this is another conversation, not for today. But it's really fascinating to see how the culture can dress a thread together. And when I saw you do your beadwork, I was like, I would linking. I would feel. Yes. Did you feel something too?
Yeah, it makes me think about the link each other as human. Sorry, I might not express myself so I'm a bit clumsy here. Okay, guys. But I thank you for opening the dialogue. We don't know what to say either. Okay. And we don't, I will talk for myself, but
these things are horrible, and I feel ashamed. We also, the non-Inuit, we also have a lot of feelings about all this. I want to say I'm sorry, guys. We don't know much, and it's not because we don't want to. The world is big, and we are, I think, open, but I don't think we. Sorry, guys, I mix up with my languages.
You're doing good. En français, c'est bon. Allez-y.
Yeah, but I think the world is opening. La planète au complet est ouverte, but we have so much richness and precious people we don't even know. And I'm sorry for that. I see you.
I understand what you're feeling, and a lot of people react to how we talk and how we say, and I think that there's no need to apologize because you didn't put my parents in residential school. I think that you being here, interviewing me, you being here behind the camera, our audience, everyone that has put together today, everyone who puts together these events for education is part of the solution. And I think that you're honoring your own ancestors, and you're being part of the change that is needed, and I think that that's one of the things that you can walk away from. Those tears are not for me because you didn't do it and you didn't hurt my family, but you're part of our healing because you're giving us a platform, and we've accepted to come, and that's part of our journey, and there's a reason why you're sitting behind and doing that mic, and you are learning throughout the day when you're meeting all these different artists, and that's part of how we're going to open, and that's how we get to know each other, So when you cry, you didn't hurt me. You didn't hurt me, and I think that that's really important. That I understand that feeling of guilt, but be part of the solution. Don't stay in the sadness.
Yeah.
Be part of the solution. Help others understand who we are.
I think there is an emotional charge to what we are living right now, and
Oh yes.
and for both sides. Okay, I mean, they're not sides really, but I mean, we understand what I mean, huh?
Mm-hmm. And I don't understand too because it's new for Canadians. It's new. Our children being buried in the schools is new to Canadians because the government did not put that in the history books. We've, as a community, like Inuit, First Nations, Métis, like we've been dealing with this for hundreds of years since contact. We're so resilient because we have been dealing with it from the beginning. For Canadians, it's brand new for them, because the government has made sure it was hidden. Why would they say that in education? When my parents adopted me, they didn't know I was stolen, because who would adopt a stolen child? My parents would have never done that. But in order to ensure assimilation, they said, well, here's an Eskimo child that needs love, and so there's a shift that also has to happen in the political arena. Like we ourselves have self-governance and we have our own political organizations, but I think if Canadians really want to see change, they need to go and use their political will and political decision in that vote to vote in for people and demand that our history be in the history books. There's no more excuse, and you're a part of this. So thank you for inviting us, to give voice.
Well, I want to say my father-in-law he passed away, but he was a very loving person who at 9 years old got taken away on a plane from northern Manitoba. It's still no road access except from the winter road. And when he met me, he gave me the picture of him dressed traditional. And when I left his son, it was very difficult, but he was proud that I gave him 4 years of rest. And then, I pledged that I was going to give myself also a voice. And that's the most difficult thing, because to express who you are when you're always told it's not the time to talk. No, don't talk. You have a consequence if you talk. So now we're really able to talk and people want to listen. And he had a vision. He said, one day after I pass, the treaties will be taught into schools again. And, we will know about the treaties and why it has such an impact on mainstream today. And so that's also another source for our viewers right now. Like, if you want to go learn about the treaties of Canada, it's very important. And I also know about this. We do a lot of work. And if you have questions, don't hesitate for after this interview to ask the questions. We have the answers. And if we don't, we'll find the resources for the viewers to have more tools to educate themselves. And thank you for saying that. It was so nice, because you're right. It's the way it starts. And it starts within our own surroundings, our own home and our own families. And education is not, there's ways to educate ourselves in a way that it's suitable for everyone now. If you're dyslexic, if you have, an issue, or you can always find a way. There's organizations who are extremely committed, and I'm so happy that you journeyed today to Buckingham.
And I can't wait to go to your store.
Oh yes.
I was going to ask if I was going to see the Queen.
In Buckingham.
Thank you, guys. Thank you to you. You're so cute.
Before we split, I have a last question.
Oh, okay.
And that's because I know Nina, and I've known you since a long time, and I know you were playing cello. I don't know where's that in your life.
I recently got my cello fixed, and I recently played. So I might be. I was actually just. I went through battling cancer for the past year and a half. So I've been that's been put on whatever on the side. But now that I'm, coming out of it, I really want to pick up and learn again, take lessons. So we'll see.
True artist. Thank you, guys. I don't know what to say really, but till we see each other again.
We
And
don't say goodbye.
yeah, I like
Like,
that.
See you later.
See you later.
Just say see you.
Can you tell me again in Inuktitut how to say thank you?
Nakurmek.
Nakurmek. I know. Yeah. Nakurmek. Nakurmek from my heart. Thank you, guys.
And we say, Willal